so now we're going to move into our motion classification portion of our demo. And what we're going to be doing today is comparing TruShield Security with a traditional Wi-Fi sensing app. All right, and so we make this comparison not to shed a negative light on anyone, but instead to acknowledge that this is where we used to be. You know, we used to be able to detect general motion and have squiggly lines to reflect that, but now we're showing just how far TruShield has kind of disrupted industry standards and going that step further with our motion classification. So right now what I'm going to do is remotely turn on that fan that is on screen right now. There we go. So we see our fan is now on, blowing some curtains, creating some environmental motion in our space. And I'm going to go ahead and bring up our traditional Wi-Fi sensing app. So we're seeing already that both systems are interacting with this source of motion. If you focus down in our traditional Wi-Fi sensing app, that live motion bar down below, it says Amazon because that's our sensing device for that system. You can see it's picking up motion. If I go ahead and click on it, we can see the different levels of intensity of that motion. On the right-hand side, with TruShield, we're seeing that we're fluctuating between a no motion and detecting motion or motion detected phase. So what happens here is TruShield is detecting that general motion, and then our algorithm is classifying it as non-human, so it reverts back to that no motion state. So that's why you might see that fluctuation between the two. Now let's see what happens when we introduce human motion into this space. So we're going to go ahead and have Joe walk around the space, and we'll see how both systems interact with his human movement. All right, so we can see Joe at the top of the screen walking right on in. And I'm seeing definitely a spike in general motion with our Wi-Fi sensing app. But, you know, with that Wi-Fi sensing app, we don't know what the source of that motion is. It could be a dog jumping off a couch. It could be curtains blowing in the wind. But with TruShield Security, we know for sure that it's a person with our verified human detection, and we're able to identify that source of motion, unlike our competitors.